Hey, what's up, family and friends? It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, has just gone live. Hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, please take a moment to subscribe to my page and click that bell twice so you get these notifications as I'm dropping hits or I'm going live on YouTube. And then also, if you're watching via Facebook, please like Williams Inspires and shoot me a little memo and let me know you were out there and let me know that you've been partaking of us breaking this bread, and whether you're enjoying it and if it's changing your life. I like to hear those things too, because I think we're all here for a purpose, and I think our purposes are tied together. No matter how much we don't want to work together, no matter how much we think that everything is separate, I'm telling you that my destiny is tied to your destiny is tied to my destiny. I think that's where we are right now. Hey, like I said last time, I'm on a new platform for the second week on Motivational Monday. I really can't see who's coming in the room. So if you're popping in here, would you please just drop me a line, say, hey, let me know you're here. While you're doing that, please like, share, subscribe, host watch parties for these Motivational Mondays. Man, just the amount of love and the messages that I'm getting back via Facebook and via YouTube, just about the people's lives who's changing. Man, I got a story in my inbox earlier today about a person who decided to go back to school after hearing a couple of my Motivation Mondays and listening to my video. It was so inspiring. Like, you all inspire me when I hear your stories. I know Rod just started. I see you, Rod, popping in here. He just started a new page. I suggest you all go like his page also. Rod, post your page down there. I got Rajetta chiming into this conversation. I know she's doing speaking engagements now that she's expanding her gifts. I'm telling you, this is a community of people waging war on mediocrity. This is where you want to be. Hey, Gene, for joining us tonight. This is the place where you want to be with like-minded people. We keep telling ourselves we don't know any eagles, and all I know is chickens, and all I'm around is chickens. Then come eagle up then, because that's what we do on these waging war on mediocrity. Yep, I'm gonna break bread. Go ahead, like, share, host watch parties, ring that bell if you're on YouTube, and I'm about to get ready to go get some bread breaking. I'm giving y'all about 3 more seconds to go call mama them, grandmama them, cousin them, auntie them, and say the motivational teacher to the masses is about to break bread. Yes, I am. Tonight, I've been excited all day about getting in this chair tonight. No more fear. That's what we're talking about tonight. No more fear. Man, I get excited when I'm talking about this because, and I know a lot of you all out there, y'all can back me up on this, that there's so much in store for our lives. I mean, that there's so much that God wants to do through our lives. If we had just one little mechanism of action that could overcome fear, we would be able to conquer the world. We would be like there's nothing that we cannot do. Man, a bunch of dudes got together and they were about to build a tower to heaven. In Bible, they were like, man, we ain't gotta wait for God to bring us to heaven. We're gonna build us a tower. They started building a tower and they were going to get it there. Like, there is nothing impossible to us that believe. But the biggest challenge, man, I'm gonna break bread tonight. The biggest challenge to success is overcoming our own fear. Man, if we weren't afraid, see, too many of us make decisions out of our history. We make decisions, we know too much. See, sometimes we got to return back to act like a little babe, man. When kids get up and they learn how to walk, they get up, they fall, they bump their head, they get up, they fall, they bump their head, and they keep going because there's no mechanism in them at that moment to say quit or fear success. None. And the people looking at me, and I know the people looking at me, success is inevitable in your life. We have to learn how to fear not. Let me break a little bread right here. For this video, our definition for fear is going to be fear in the most general term and implies anxiety and usually a loss of courage. Anxiety and loss of courage. Now we know, let's draw a line between danger and fear. All right. Danger. If somebody's standing there with a gun pointed at me, I am in danger. My body goes to fight or fight motion. My parasympathetic nervous system kicks in and a decision has to be made. That's danger. So let's separate fear from danger. And I think too many of us use these words interchangeably to where we believe that they're the same thing. I feared for my life, therefore I ran. I get it. That fear is fine because you were in immediate and intense danger. And God has created our body so perfectly and wonderfully made that we were created with a mechanism system that's meant for us to fear dangers. Let's dismiss that. If you're in danger, I get it. Put that to the side. Now come on back to the motivational teacher to the masses. Let's talk about fear. In its most general term implies anxiety and usually the loss of courage. Usually the loss of courage. Because I was afraid that I wouldn't get the job, I didn't submit my application. Because I was afraid that I wasn't smart enough to take that class, I never enrolled. I'm talking about fear in that sense where it created anxiety, it created an angst. We made decisions out of that emotion versus making decisions out of what we know. And for some of us, what we have known now is fear, because we've made so many decisions with fear, and we've been in fear for so long that now we look from life through the scope or the lens of fearing. Man, I just broke bread. Like we look out and opportunities that present themselves to us, sometimes we tend to make decisions about those opportunities out of fear. Yeah, I'm going to break bread before tonight is over. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Yea, though I walk through the shadow of death. And most times when fear presents itself, it's only a shadow. I'm going to break bread before this night is over. It's only a shadow. And that shadow has cast its head over us, not because of something we don't know, but because of something that maybe triggered it in our past. I'm breaking bread right now. See, let me tell you what I do know. I do know that that the majority of us were not born into fear. Yeah, I'm going to break bread. Most of us were born into an environment that taught us to fear and showed us what to fear. And that helped us shape our beliefs about what we can and what we cannot do. I'm breaking bread right now. So fear, no more fear. So fear is not any danger. I said danger now. Check this out. I'm talking about fear, the anxiety part of it was not given to us from God to be able to make decisions the way we do. We learn fear through interacting with our environment. We learn fear by what we see, what we hear, and what we thought. We were never created to stay in a box. Just broke bread. You were never meant to live in a box. You were never meant, I said in two of my YouTube videos ago, you were never meant to live life with the brakes on. You were never meant to live life at 30% or 40%. But how we interacted with our environment and how we lived our life up to this point helped us make decisions now that where we live life with the brakes on. I'm going to break bread before it's over. No more fear. See, before I can deal with fear, I have to first deal with the origin of fear. And see, most of us, right now, we're in America and we're talking about contact tracing. I'm breaking bread right now. I'm breaking bread right now. See, right now, we didn't really know what contact tracing was until the coronavirus came into existence. Now, I want you to use contact tracing to figure out where did I gain this fear, or better yet, where did I lose faith? And see, if I don't remember where I laid it down, I never can pick it back up. See, some of us got to start being honest with ourselves. Like we pretended and we put on this persona for so long that we can no longer be honest with who we truly are. Man, I'm breaking bread. Some of us Yeah. Some of us have been pretending to be somebody that's on a TV show or somebody else in life that we've lost reality of who we are. I'm breaking bread right now. If you're going to ever accomplish the total will of God for your life, yeah, you got to find yourself. You got to find who you were truly created to be. There's no way you can escape this world with all of God has given you while you're walking and you're trembling with fear. It's not possible. It is not possible. We got to change our relationship that we have with me. I'm breaking bread right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is eventually this is going to be one that's going to have you running through a wall. But in the beginning, I got to lay the foundation. I am the motivational teacher to the masses. I am not the motivational speaker. Motivational speakers sit here, no more fear, get up, move, act, go hard. No, I am the motivational teacher to the masses. First of all, we have to identify the root. If we don't identify the root, we can never change. See, too many people are dealing with the fruits in their life. Wow, I'm breaking bread right now. Too many of us only deal with the fruits in our life, and we never deal with the root, or what the old folk would say, the root. We never deal with their root, but the root matter. And see, the motivational teacher to the masses got to take you back to where the root is, because if you uproot the root, then you can get different fruit as you begin to sow different things on the inside of you. That's what, man, I'm breaking bread up in here tonight on the spiritual level. This stuff is good right here if you have an ear and you're willing to go back and search yourself. If you're willing to go back and contact, and like they call it, contact trace, where is the root? And I guarantee you, when you look back at the root, that root, it was never meant to keep you in fear like it has up until this point. It was meant for you to gain strength from it, for you to really know how strong you are. You never know how strong you are until strength is the only option you have. That root, when you go back and you contact trace, that root was meant to strengthen you. I'm breaking bread up in here. I'm breaking bread up in here. Up in here on a Monday night, no more fear. And some of us need to just hit ourselves in the chest. No, hey mom, more fear. I got my wife chiming in this conversation. Anxiety and the loss of courage equals fear. No doubt. We gotta contact trace it back to the root. If we never get back to the root, we can never change the fruit. We can put on a lifestyle that truly isn't ours, or we can fake it for a season. But believe you me, when it's time to become pressure tested, the root will always yield that same fruit. And that's why you hear people that get almost right there to the breaking point, but don't quite make it. Why? Because their root is wrong. I'm breaking bread up in here. I am the motivational teacher to the masses. I ain't read one note. I took notes tonight because I want to make sure that I dot my I's and I cross my T's. And there's a time to rah, 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 shout, shout, shout. But then there's also the time to be tight and concise to make sure that those that hear this can run with it. Yeah. Fear, in most general terms, implies anxiety and usually loss of courage. And see, a lot of people think that the opposite of fear is what? Faith. A lot of people think that the opposite of fear is faith. The opposite of fear is not faith. The opposite of fear is courage. Boy, I just broke bread. The opposite of fear is courage. And sometimes, no, let me rephrase that. And the majority of the times, if you're going to do anything outside of your norm, if you're going to do anything outside of what you know, it's going to take courage. It's going to be strong and of good courage. Be strong and of good. I'm not telling you not to fret not. I'm saying be strong and of good courage, because courage overcomes fear. See, too many of us, we've been trying to act our way in faith. We've been trying to act our way into something we're not. But you got to have courage in the midst of COVID. Boy, I am about to break bread. In the midst of COVID-19, you have to have courage enough to say, I will not lack no good thing. In the midst of COVID-19, you have to be able, man, and stand in the middle of COVID-19 and say, all things work together for my good. It's not that the fact that I don't have 3 packs of chicken in the refrigerator and a case of water and a case of toilet tissue. It's just the fact that I know my root. I know my root. And my root says that all things work together for my good. I don't care what it looks like. I gotta have the courage to speak what's connected to my root. I just broke bread. Boy, y'all better holler at the motivational teacher to the masses tonight. I just broke bread. You gotta have the courage to say the tough thing. You gotta have the courage to make the tough decision. You see that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. I'm asking you now, let's get off the hamster wheel of insanity and let's move into this lifestyle of no more fear. No more fear. I got some people chiming into this conversation. Elke told my mom hi, to my, you did an awesome job with your son. Thank you, Elke. She did do an awesome job with me. And the main reason why she did an awesome job with us, and I'm going to break bread with this. Thank you for making that comment, Elke. I'm going to break bread with this right here. The main reason why she did a great job with us, because she taught us that it doesn't matter what you come from. You could be anything you want to be. I remember my mom telling me I should be the governor of Alabama. I remember her telling me that in the 11th grade, son, you can be governor. And I don't care that in the 4th grade, I had 2 pair of pants. I had a pair of yellow sweatpants and a pair of blue jeans. I don't care that sometimes we went without. But the problem is I grew up more prosperous than a lot of other people that I know that had more things because I was given hope. She taught me that I could do more than what they said I can do. Because they said I couldn't do it doesn't mean that I can't do it. And so we got to take the brakes off and we have to start believing on a whole nother level. We got to start taking control and charge of our life on a whole nother level. Too many of us are too casual right now. We're going through in the midst of a pandemic and we're trying to go through life as it was before the pandemic. It's a wake up. It's a wake up call that I hate to bread. I got to break bread. I got to break bread. That this COVID-19 should serve as a wake-up call. Imagine yourself on a ventilator with COVID-19. I'm just saying, think about it. At some point, we're going to get to the end of this life and we're going to have to give an account. Like right now, we're blessed and we're fortunate that it's not us, but it's somebody right now laying on a ventilator, thinking about all the things they should have done in their life only if they had time. It's too many of us putting off what we can do today for tomorrow. It's time to get grinding. It's time to take the brakes off and stop living life as if we got 400 years. We got to get moving right now in the direction of which God has called us to. He's invested. If you were not here last night, I did an Easter edition of Waging War on Mediocrity. God has invested too much into you not to see that return. I'm breaking bread right now. We got to choose to make decisions on living life with no fear. I pulled this poem up by Mary Ann Williamson. The first time I was introduced to this poem was on Coach Carter. And he asked the kid, he said, hey, what is your biggest fear? And he ran down this poem. And I remember this, and one time, me and my sons, we all knew it. It said, our deepest fear by Mary Ann Williams. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Man, we breaking bread right now. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to wake up and realize the potential that God has already given us. We can no longer choose to live our life in fear. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. It's only a shadow. Fear is not real. Fear is only real when we conceptualize it and we accept it as truth. I just broke bread. Fear is not real until we conceptualize it as truth. And y'all know my boy Job said, the things that I feared have come upon me. Man, so our lives is almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Until we change that root, we will always get those same results. And I'm telling you right now that, man, there's a life for you that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. And I'm not talking about things. Trust your boy on this. I am not talking about things. There's a life where productivity has your name on it. Like everything you touch works. There's a life for you to where you can love and love other people the way God intended for you to do. There's a life for you where you can have more money in the bank and you don't have to continuously rob Peter to pay Paul. There's a life for you where you can have a great spouse. There's a life for you where you and your siblings get along well, but that life does not come without put in the work to materialize it. But there's so many people, man, and you got to listen. You got to know that I have people that I coach. I have people that I mentor. I have mentors of my own. I am a player/coach. And you have to know that a lot of the conversations that I have about people that aren't starting a business, or they aren't maximizing their potential, or they don't have a great relationship with their spouse. The majority of these issues that I hear are self-imposed problems. They are self-imposed issues. I'm breaking bread right here. I got some people chiming into this conversation. Hey, what's up, Raymond? What's up, Sarai? So much potential. Lydia said, I'm claiming it. There's so many of us that if we would move our butts out the way, if we would move our fears out the way, let fear go and let God, our life will be completely different. But we continuously make decisions from the position where I conceptualize fear as my truth. And as long as you accept fear as your truth, just like Job said, those things will continuously come upon you. In order to change those results, you got to change that root. I'm breaking bread on a Motivational Monday. Boy, I'm breaking bread up in here. If don't nobody say nothing but me, I know I'm breaking bread. Boy, motivational teacher to the masses. I realize that this has been a true problem. Motivational teacher to the masses. I realize that every time I get to a breakthrough, I get a setback. Motivational teacher to the masses. Before COVID-19 hit, I was almost there, and now, bam, I'm right back at square one. Motivational teacher to the masses. Every time I know I deserve to be loved, but every time I'm close to having a good relationship, we end up breaking up. Yeah, the motivational teacher to the masses is coming to break bread, but first you got to accept responsibility for your own lot in life. Until we're able to accept responsibility and say, my outlook or my perceived truth has landed me into this place, we can never change and expand our ground. Boy, I'm breaking bread right now. Until we get to the point where I understand that my lot in life has more to do with my decision making than it is to my external factors, then we can get to moving in the right direction. But as long as we're so concerned about what people think about us, or we're so concerned about somebody just trying to take advantage of us, until we're so concerned about what it's going to look like if they see that I fail. We're so concerned about what people are going to say about us. You might as well just we'll never get to that ultimate place where you can have a life filled with prosperity. And when I talk about prosperity, I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about cars. I'm not talking about planes. I'm talking about a place where you're loved and you can love other people in a healthy way. I just came on Sarah's podcast, and she was talking about that, to where you can love people in a healthy way, where you feel like you find a place where you belong. We got to change the root. And man, I remember so clearly, I got to break bread. I remember so clearly when I was so guarded, and my root was self-preservation and fear. After I gotten divorced, I had made it in my mind that I'll never love again. I'll never give my heart to another person. I'll never do all those things again. And that root was self-preservation and it was fear. And I talked about having a growth mindset. And I remember I was on the computer one day, and the guy that I was listening to were giving symptoms of self-preservation and a heart of fear. And when he was giving those symptoms, I saw myself and I said, man, I got a true problem. I have a true problem. And I started becoming angry. I started becoming bitter. I started becoming resentful. And I didn't know at the root of what the problem was. I had never been that way. But I chose to accept that as my truth after I got divorced. And because I accepted that as my truth, I couldn't have healthy relationships. I couldn't even have a healthy work life, because even those seeds of self-preservation and fear was spilling over into other areas of my life. It wasn't until I got a true growth plan, after I heard the symptoms of self-preservation and fear, I diagnosed myself. I got the heebie-jeebies, or whatever Fred Sanford would call it. I got whatever that problem is, I got it. Yep. But here's the true challenge. Here's the true challenge. Yeah, let me hit this one more time. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. See, at the same time, boy, I gotta break bread. At the same time, what's up, Tanya? At the same time, when I was living in self-preservation and fear, was the same time God was trying to bless me above and beyond. If I had to continue living with that root in self-preservation and fear, I would never know my life the way I do today. I have a beautiful wife and a beautiful relationship with her. I have two beautiful boys. But if I had to continue in that root of self-preservation and fear, I would have ended up in more dysfunctional relationships as a result to my own decision-making. And I could have blamed it on ex-wife 1 or ex-wife 2 or ex-wife 3 or a girlfriend 4, girlfriend 5, and blame all the breakups on them, when the root of the seed was my decision-making. And it was based in fear and it was preservation. But the key was, but here's the point I want to make, is that root was trying to keep me from the life that I have today. Without a tight growth plan and moving from self-preservation of fear to saying, man, I'm going to be the biggest giver in my house. I don't want my wife to be able to outgive me in my house. I don't want my wife to be able to outdo me in my house. I don't want my wife to outserve me in my house. It's my role to be the biggest giver, in my house. Man, it's so awesome when your spouse and you make it, man, I want to serve her. Ask her, she'll tell you. I want to serve her, man. She could be watching the commercial and say, man, I wish I had that. And a day later, 2 days later, it's coming to her. Or, man, I'm tired tonight. I just wish I had somebody to do this for me. Bam, I'm getting it done because I don't want her to outserve me in my house. It's like I took on a whole different disposition than what it was before. And the root of love, man, the manifestations are great. The manifestations are great when you do it that way. But as long as I'm so far off my notes right now, but as long, it's not my darkness. It's not my darkness. It's my light that we're most afraid of, man, that there's something that God has for you that was meant for you from the foundation of the earth. But until you get your truth out the way, I told you, our truth is what the fear that we conceptualize become our truth. Until we move our truth for his truth. I just broke bread. Man, I'm breaking bread up in here tonight. I got some folk chime in this conversation. Boy, I'm like, y'all better talk to the motivational teacher to the man. I've been on here 30 minutes and I ain't got any of my notes. Boy, that's crazy, isn't it? You got to be, Tanya, chiming into this conversation. You got to be honest with yourself as to why things don't always go as planned. It's not always someone else's fault. You just broke bread, Tanya. You just broke bread. We like to blame everybody but the man in the mirror. My favorite, the message of mine that's my mom's favorite is the man in the mirror. I did a Motivational Monday probably a year or two ago, and my mom is still talking about it today. It is the man in the mirror. Elkie chiming into this conversation. That's a beautiful thing. True love, true examples. Very happy for you, your wife and your children. Thank you, Elkie. You have a beautiful spirit. Thank you so much. But that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. We have to change the root. That's why, man, I said it 3 times tonight. I'm going to say it one more time. This is why I am the motivational teacher. This is why I am not a motivational speaker. Motivational speakers can't talk to you about the root of the issue. Motivational speakers can get you going for a day and a half. They can get you motivated enough to go out and do enough just to get through the day. But I'm talking about a life-changing decision. You see, most of the manifestation in our life, whether good or bad, is based from a truth that we conceptualize. Man, I'm breaking bread. I'm breaking bread. It's the truth that we conceptualize. Until we're able to change that truth, we will always live in fear and live in lack. I'm telling you, do you know that poverty, that I'm not going to go there. Let me stay to my notes. That's a whole different motivational Monday. Man, like I'm already 2 or 3 motivational Mondays ahead of myself right now. Let me get back to my notes. We just talked about fear. Fear has a large shadow, but he himself is very small. I walk through the shadow of the valley of death. The shadow seems like it's really big, and it seems like sometimes when fear have you grip, you can't hardly breathe. Yeah. Sometimes fear can do that to you. But fear himself is really small. It's just a shadow. And when you see that shadow that's looking like a big bear behind you, and when you turn around, you look, it's a small little ant. But we built that ant into a bear-like mentality because of how much we've conceptualized what could go wrong. Yeah, we gave fear that power. And listen to the motivational teacher, if I gave fear that power, then I can take that power back from fear. Man, I just armed you with the knowledge you needed to wage war on mediocrity. If you gave fear its power, you can take the sting out of fear. Well, I'm still on my Motivational Monday. You can take the sting out of fear and gain back that authority of which you gave away. Don't you know that you're powerful beyond measure? Don't you know that you're stronger than a Cat 5 hurricane? Don't you know that you can change, that the whole world is waiting on the manifestation of 2 or 3 people that know who they are in God and knows who they are and accept truth from that place. To my COVID-19, I'm not afraid of COVID-19. I'm using COVID-19, the gift of time from COVID-19 to become a better version of myself. I'm not running and scared and nervous to breathe and all this stuff. I ain't going out. I'm social distancing too. Now, I ain't stupid. Don't get me wrong. I ain't stupid. I'm not doing those things. But at the end of the day, even if I got it, that's okay. That's okay. I'll live because I ain't done right now. And I'm taking all the precautions. But at the end of the day, I'm using this time to grind, to become a better version of myself. I'm 30 minutes in. I ain't gotten to my notes. All right, guys, I'm going to shoot through this real quick. Yeah, no more fear. So, motivational teacher to the mass, you talk 30 minutes about this fear. I know, like you, motivational teacher to the masses, I got that root that's in self-preservation and it's in fear. How do I overcome that root? Here we go. Thank you, Elke. We breaking bread tonight. Yes, gain it back. You on fire. Thank you, Dahlia. We breaking bread tonight. All right, here we go. How to overcome fear. Number 1, you want to write this down. This is the first thing you have to do, because once you have that root of bitterness or that root of fear or whatever it is on the inside of you, you're going to always have thoughts that come from that place, because it's almost like you and that thought it has become one. You know, we talked about it last night. From the heart flows the issues of life. Almost like what's in your heart is what you're going to see on the outside. So what I do, motivational teacher to the masses, when I know that I have that root of fear, number 1, you got to take every thought captive. You are that powerful that you control what goes through your heart and what goes through your head. You have to take every thought captive. Every thought that doesn't belong to me, I let it be known. Nope, that was not my original thought. That thought doesn't come from me. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. I don't care what the stock market is doing. I don't care what the banks are doing. I don't care what the airline companies are doing. I am blessed and I am highly favored. I will never be in lack. I'll never be broke, busted, or disgusted another day of my life. That is not my own natural thought. And you got to take these thoughts captive. And when you have one thought to come through there that you know is not from the right root, you got to cast it down. Because if not, those thoughts soon become words. And those words soon become your manifestation. So you have to take every thought captive. But how liberating is it to know that you have control over your thoughts? Man, that's strong. Do you know how many people out there today don't know they have of their thoughts? Just because something runs through your head doesn't mean it has. My body is here. My body is whole. COVID-19 can't come near me. I'm watching the news where 500,000 people, almost 2 million people worldwide with COVID-19. Me having it is not my original thought. I cast it down. You got to take control of your own thought life, because ultimately that is what's driving your manifestation and your decision making. It's those thoughts that are driving our decisions. Until we're able to take it captive, we will continue in the cycle of whatever we own right now. Number one, take every thought captive. Number two, meditate on what's good. Boy, I just broke bread. I just broke bread. Meditate on what's good. I know right now the cup looks half empty. But if the cup is half empty, that means the cup can be half full also. Let's meditate. I'm not saying diminish what's on the other side of the cup, but I'm saying let's spend more time. Let's spend an 80-20 and 90-10 focus on the cup being half full. Or than it is half. Almost not anything in that cup. The cup is half full. The cup is half full. Let's take advantage. Let's spend the majority of our time on what's going right. We have to meditate on what can go right. We have to meditate on what is good and what is whole. If we spend our time in that area, that alone will change a lot of the manifestation that we have in our life. It will. But we got to learn how to dwell on what could go right. Let's not always talk about what is going wrong. It's going to as long as we're in this world, but we're not of this world, we're going to always be able to point to something that's not right. I just broke bread. And you have to make a conscious, deliberate, intentional decision to either be a part of the problem or a part of the solution. In every situation, we are a part of one of those. You're either a part of the problem or you're part of the solution. Right now, if your friends are calling you, are you a part of the solution to the COVID-19 problem or a COVID-19 issue, or you're part of the solution? In every situation, you have to make a decision. And once you become a part of the solution, phone calls will almost go to half, because people don't want to hear what's uplifting. People they want an excuse to be average and keep you right there average with them. I got some people chiming into this conversation. Tanya, my drill sergeant taught me mind over matter. If you don't mind, then it doesn't matter. Be the person your heart drives you to be, not what men says you should be. You just broke bread. You just broke bread. And it's too many of us are living our lives trying to please other people. No more fear. God, you are fearfully and you are wonderfully made, man. Walk in it. Walk in it. Walk it like you talk it. Walk in it. You are fearfully and you are wonderfully made. Don't let nobody steal your heart. Man, you got to be kidding me. Don't let nobody bring you off your mountaintop. Don't let nobody tell you how you're a mere man. You're created in God's image and his likeness. Live from that. I'm telling you, if you could live from that one statement, it'll change your complete life. I'm made in God's image and God's likeness. If you can, I talked about that last night. If you can live in that one statement, it will absolutely change your life forever and ever and ever. I'm the motivational teacher to the masses. I'm talking about no more fear. That if we change this root, we got to uproot where that situation started. Number one, you got to take every thought captive. Number two, you got to meditate on what's good. And number three, This is coming from the athlete in me. Got some more people chiming into this conversation. Dwelling on what's wrong is an excuse to not hold yourself accountable for, and it blocks your blessing. You just broke bread. I can have what God says I can have. You sure can. Love it, Tanya. I got people chiming in here with Tanya saying they loving the statements. You all are definitely elevating this conversation, you all. I got about another 5-10 minutes. Y'all go ahead and, if you out there, like, share, host this watch party so they can get the end of this one. Number 3. This is the athlete in me. This is the athlete in me. My number 3 is take real practice reps. Take real practice reps. What do you mean, motivational teacher to the masses? I remember when I ball, we would practice almost 15 hours a week. 15 hours a week. The preseason was almost 3 months long, and then you had the season. So we would practice 15, 20 hours a week to play a 40-minute game. I'm breaking bread right now. We would practice 15 hours for a 40-minute game. You got to take real practice rep. But the reason why we had to practice so much is that when moments became intense in games, and when games were tight and you had 15,000 people in the stands, your body had muscle memory. At that time when you get the ball, you can catch it and you can score it because you've done it 15 million times in practice. I want you to start taking practice reps, take real practice reps. That while you are where you are in your home, start edifying yourself. Start speaking positively about your situation. Take real practice reps. What do you mean? That I deserve to be loved. I deserve a man. I deserve a woman that loves me for who I am. I deserve someone that's going to treat me and respect me as I treat myself. I deserve it. I deserve a job. I deserve a business that can give me more money at the end of the month than like it is now having more month at the end of the month. I deserve a healthy body. I got to eat more vegetables, eat more fruits. We got to start taking live practice reps. Coach T, you know what I'm talking about. We got to start taking live practice reps. So when we get in the situation, and see, this is where most people fail. This is where most people fail. They sit at home and they don't take live practice reps. They sit at home, they beat themselves up. They talk about what they don't have, what I ain't got, what somebody else is doing, how somebody putting their foot on my neck, how I'm being oppressed. Woe is me. I'm the second hand always. I'm the shortest sibling in the family. I'm the, I'm always something wrong with me as compared to every. You're taking live practice reps, and when it's time for the promotion, and when it's time for the advancement, you can't get it because you've been taking live practice reps. And when it gets time to the real game, what your self-esteem is so low because you beat yourself up so much that you go in and you blow the opportunity. I'm breaking bread right now. And we'll go out and blame it. We'll say it just wasn't my time, or they didn't like me because I was black. They didn't like me because I was male or female. They didn't like me because I was white, or I was Jewish, or I was a Christian, or I was Catholic. And we'll make 9 different reasons as to why I didn't get the manifestation that I desire. And all of it is because my practice reps are flawed. If you're taking bad practice reps, your game reps will be flawed. When it's time for you to exercise courage, and you've only been making comments and living and thinking in fear, you can never outperform your practice reps. Boy, I'm breaking bread. Well, that's a whole Motivational Monday. Let me start this right here. This is a whole nother Motivational Monday. I feel that with everything on the inside of me. I feel that one with everything on the inside of me. I'm going on YouTube tonight. I'm gonna hash this out tonight. Man, we gotta take live practice reps. You can never outperform your practice reps in a pressure situation. I got my wife chiming into this conversation. When preparation meets opportunity, you will have good success. I am breaking bread tonight. You gotta take live practice rep. And the reason why we are where we are is because we've been doing it wrong in practice. And when it gets to game time, we're still making the same mistakes in the game that we're making in practice. Let's correct those practice reps. And that's why we always talk about a strong growth plan. That's why it's so important that we have a strong growth plan. We got to get the practice reps right. If in the comfort of your own home, you can't make the right comment about yourself and about your situation, it's going to be terribly impossible to do it in front of the decision maker, the job, the guy, the husband. You say everybody want their Boaz. It's hard to get that Boaz when your practice reps are wrong. It's hard for you to get Ruth when your practice reps are wrong. It's very difficult. Everybody want to go to the top of the mountain. James, John, Peter, he took a little higher. We always want to go to a little bit higher, but we can't get higher because our practice reps are wrong. Until you get that right, until you start making the right comments, until you start taking those thoughts captives, until you start meditating on what's good, then you got to change the practice reps. Game time decision making just doesn't change. And I think that's why many people die average, because they're waiting on life just to happen. Well, at some point I figured out, no, that'll never happen. You'll die broke. You'll die with diabetes or sickness and disease in your body. You'll die with not having mended relationships in your life. Why? Because your practice reps have been wrong for 30, 40, 50 years. They've been wrong. And game time decisions is built on your practice reps. We got to change how we practice to get better in-game decisions. I just broke bread. Woo! Please like, share, host watch parties for this thing. If you're not a YouTube subscriber to my page, go subscribe to my YouTube page. I am breaking fresh bread daily, usually in 46 minutes, usually less than seven or 8 minutes. But I'm dropping YouTube videos every day. If you're not a Williams Inspires follower, I suggest you go and you follow Williams Inspires, because I guarantee you this. There are a lot of motivational speakers out there, but I guarantee there's very few that can break the bread like we're breaking it tonight. That's why I'm so confident in my gift, because I'm taking game like practice. Yeah, I'm taking practice serious. My practice reps are like my game reps. I'm grinding it out in practice. So I get on these Motivational Mondays. I get on YouTube and I go live. It's because I've been taking the right practice reps. How do you talk for 47 minutes and spit nothing but fire? Because when I'm in practice, I ain't taking in nothing but fire. I ain't going through the motions. I ain't going through the motions of life. My wife will tell you, "Ooh, it's hard for you to sit down. Take a break." No, I'm in a dress rehearsal. I ain't taking no shots. I ain't taking plays off. I'm not taking seconds off. I'm going the whole shot clock, baby. And until we change our mind and we get ready, and until we start doing it, man, we can never change our lot in life. You got to go through the whole shot clock, baby. You got to do it. Otherwise, you will always only be average. And it won't be because your mama. It won't be because your dad. It won't be because your grandmama. It won't be because of your boss. It won't be because your siblings were prettier than you. It's only because you were going through the motions in practice. Continue going through the motions in practice. You'll get a game time. You'll make game time decisions going through the motion. I just broke bread. No more fear. You are fearfully and wonderfully created. No more fear. Some of you all got to wake up in the morning, and when your feet hit the floor, the first thing you got to say is, no more fear. I'm going, hey, I don't care how you got to say it, phrase it. I'm going, my boy Martin Luther King said, I done looked over the mountaintop. I don't know where you got to go in order to see it, but sometimes you might go to the mountaintop so you can look down and see. I'm telling you, you got to go to the place, man, where you are taking game like reps, where you can live in that place where eyes have not seen and ears have not heard what's laid up for you on this life. So you can live in that place. I'm breaking bread right here, y'all. Man, I can't hardly let this thing go, but I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go, and then I'm gonna pick it back up again next time. I don't know what's going on. I do know what's going on. What's going on is that during this time of COVID-19, I am pounding information into my body to help make me a better person, a better individual, a greater motivational teacher to the masses, make me a greater husband, make me a better father, make me a better son, make me a better brother. I'm talking about I am throwing information at me left and right. And so this is the overflow of my practice time. I just broke bread. This is the overflow of my practice time. Man, I can go on. I got to do something on this one alone. Hey, y'all start this one. Take real reps and practice. You're going to hear that again all in his own Motivational Monday or Sensational Something. I'm bringing that back, man. Y'all have been amazing tonight. I think this is actually the longest Motivational Monday ever. I topped 50 minutes. And it's because you all chimed in this conversation. You all helped taking this conversation to another level. Thank all of you all who chimed into this conversation. Still got comments flowing. It's been amazing. Thank y'all for hosting watch parties, for sharing this, and then for liking and subscribing to my YouTube and Facebook page. Y'all are amazing. You all give me energy. You all give me strength. Thank y'all so much for joining. And until next time, I am challenging you to wage war on mediocrity. I'm out.